I'm gonna put this as blunt as I physically can, because it's just how you need it and how you need to hear it. Is you're never gonna make money trading if you never actually change what you're doing. You need to actually look at what you're doing and see what your issues are. Why do I keep losing? Is it my TA, or is it something like, oh, I'm entering before something's been created? Am I entering with a stupid stop loss? What is it? And I'm pretty sure I know what your one is. It's your stop losses. I don't care how much you're wrong on a trade, how many times you're right, how many times you're wrong. It's where is your stop loss? For your level of trading, your capability of understanding what's going on, how big is your stop loss? Because you can't have these small stop losses and then complain that you're always getting stopped out and then it going down. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting literally wiped out and then it going to your target. So stop having the stop losses that I have or any other profitable trader has. Not even every profitable trader. A lot of people have these bigger stop losses because it's what makes them money. You're not in a position where you can have stop losses at things like, for example, this is a scenario that I've set up beforehand of there being a move here. Okay, this is just an order block of, you know, the high of this whole range. This is something I would not go for anyway because we never closed this on a higher time frame. This isn't really going to go down, but don't care about that. Just care about the example itself. Whereas I know you're having things where your stop loss is above that thing that's just tested the order block, not up here. You're not having it up here, you're having it at the thing that's just been created, and you're anticipating that being the order block for the next range to continue down. This is the type of trading I do. This is where my stop losses are because I make money already. I can have these risky stop losses where I can get stopped out and then it goes in my direction anyway. The thing is though, is I break even more often than, or sorry, a lot faster than you do in more of a logical way, whereas you break even because you're scared of getting stopped out. For me, I understand if it doesn't go to your target within a couple of minutes and it's lingering around and my stop loss is that tight, if I'm not break even, I'm getting stopped out, and I understand that, whereas obviously you don't, and having these stop losses is just not, it's just not going to work out for you at all, and you're going to continue failing until you understand that your stop losses need to be bigger. They need to be at the thing that's getting tested into, not the thing that's getting created, the thing that's getting tested into. Because if we're looking at this move here, you don't get stopped at, it goes to your target, you take profit, and then it goes up. Here, you get stopped at, it goes to your target, you walk away with -1 hour, and you're right in the direction. I don't want to see or hear you saying that you're getting stopped out and it's going in your direction, because the only reason that's happening is because you're having a small stop loss. You need to have the bigger stop loss right now. As time goes on and you start making money, reassess, can I have a small stop loss now? Can I go for aggressive trades because I now know when to break even properly, and everything in between. But right now you're never going to pass a challenge if you constantly do the same thing, where you're getting in, anticipating something, holding, getting stopped out because it's sweeping, and then going straight to your target. Time and time again, the same thing happens to you, and you need to learn from it. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again and losing and marking it down as like, oh, you don't have a good understanding of what's going on. You don't need a good understanding of what's going on. You can have like a correct idea rate of like 30% and still make money. You don't need to know what's happening every single time. And backtesting right now isn't what you need, unless you're actually backtesting stop losses, which I think you actually should do. Seeing how many times like you would get stopped out if you have this big stop loss, how many times are you going to win, versus how many times would you win with a smaller stop loss, which you're surprise you're going to win a lot more of these bigger stop losses, and you're also not going to be worried about getting stopped out, because prices literally has to breathe and you've been stopped out. Because let's be honest, you're getting into this intra candle, and you know you don't really understand that you need to be break even if nothing's happened yet. And also, you know, you come into the order block here for this little range. In this candle, you can't sit here still at risking 1R, because you're going to get stopped out. And I know you don't even understand like that yet. So until you do, you need these bigger stop losses. You need these bigger ones. You're going to get money. You're going to gradually be able to pass a challenge. Whereas what you're doing right now, you will never pass a challenge. You're trading with a stop loss size that I would have with an understanding, and you don't have the understanding what I do. So it's not practical. It's not going to work. Need bigger stop losses. If we're looking at this move right now and you closed here, you think price is going to go higher, here that gets tested into, you're anticipating this being the order block. Okay, the stop loss is here. Look how tight this is versus having it here. And another thing I'm going to talk about is changing the time you trade at, because you're not going to be able to trade like this if you're trading at 230, because as you saw there, the stop loss was 15. That's reasonable. That's like not a bad stop loss at all. One mini, you're only risking $30 with a stop loss that big, whereas if that was 230, I'll put my life on it, that's about $50 on certain days, and you're never going to be able to get into it. And this is where you keep losing, because you're trading at times that is way too aggressive, with stop losses that are way too aggressive, with the understanding of basically a toddler in the markets, because you've only been doing it a year. Your understanding isn't going to be that good to the point where your stop losses can be something like $12 at 230, because $12 at 230 is a very, very tight stop loss. I'm sure we can go look. A $12 stop loss, even this is 25. Look at that. That's 25. Look, if we drag this over, to where price is right now. You saw how small. You saw how small little room you had until you would have got stopped out. You take that and you move it to this one. Let's say you own it here. Look how far down it has to go for you to get stopped out. That far down. Look how small these candles are. At 230, the candle barely has to move and you're already out. So it's not wise to be trading 230. And I even think 430 as well. I think you need to completely just get rid of the whole sessions and just change the time you trade in entire, because all these times the stop losses are way too big for you right now. I think while you're doing the challenge, it's fine. When you pass and you're trading at even like 4, like your stop loss is still going to be, if you're going for the bigger stop loss, it's going to be like $30. Here's a good one, a good example, and we can see how big the stop loss is. Okay, so we're cycling up, right, we're closing these highs, or here. We're going for the thing that tested into the order block. Okay, if we're sitting here, I know in this scenario you never got stopped out. If you're going for here, your stop loss is 14.75, and look how big your stop loss is. It's not that big at all. This is 5 p.m. If you're having it where I'm telling you to have it, which is underneath the thing that's getting tested into, it's 27. 27 is still pretty high because of the time. I think you need to be trading in a time where it's at least, you know, about 0.25. Your stop loss is about 0.225. I can't think of the word, I don't know why. 0.25 smaller, there we go, than it would be at this time. Whereas we saw what that was. It was like 20. I can't remember. 27. You need to be trading at a time where it's a bit smaller than that. Whereas here, right, you have your stop loss. Here it's 15, and you're able to get into here. And your ass is not so tight because because you're going to get stopped out. Because if this breathes, you're out. Like if we're looking here, right, the issue is as well, you would already be break even because your stop loss is so small. Whereas here, you're not break even because of how big your stop loss is. There's no reason for you to break even when it's not even moved away from your entry. So have these bigger stop losses. Go from there. I think you do a lot better. Don't trade 230, 430, whenever. And I think you do a lot better. I know you traded later today, but I'm sure your stop losses were still tiny. I'm sure you're still going for things where your stop loss is like here. You're going for that with your stop loss here. Yeah, I know in this move you didn't get stopped out, but I know you would have been break even. So, yeah, do that tomorrow. I'm sure even if you lose, you'll at least be in a trade longer. But that's kind of, like I said earlier, I don't care what your succession rate is, because if you have a low succession rate, yeah, you're going to lose quite often. But it's better like that than it is having these smaller moves. So these smaller stop losses, getting stopped out and then being right. To be honest, I would rather give myself a better chance of making money than giving myself just a sliver of odds of coming out of money, because I'm going for external targets with the most aggressive stop loss going. Because you're going for this with your targets up here, barely breathes and you're out. Barely breathes and you're out. It comes back down to retest your tents because you know it moves down the low, you're gone. Whereas you're having it here, or here. It was supposed to be there, at this low. But you're having it here and you're not tense if it's coming down, because you know it's going to come down. If we're closing it, it's going to come down to try and hold the order block. And having your stop loss here, you know full well it can come here, sweep, go up. So why keep putting your stop losses here? So yeah, before I keep making the same point over and over again, I'm just going to end it there.